Okay. Me experimenting. Now, how many home theatres, cinemas, will probably have all the channels muted, just except the LFE? At the moment, I'm just using my JBL 4645 and 4645C, the TCBs, the triple chambered JBL triple chambered bandpass subs up there and at the back. They're muted at the moment, which is on there. I'm just experimenting. Because the room's concrete floor. Alright, starting to rumble, but mild. It's up on that channel there. I could do quite a few other things that probably I don't know, most expensive home theatres can't do, unless you spend a ridiculous amount of money on a Trevo 16 channel or 32 channel, whatever, you know. It's not going to have as good LED readout as that. I mean, yeah, I'll have an LED display on it, which I think should be mandatory, or even on a flipping Denon. They could have put a display there, for crying out loud. I mean, look at the CP500 down there, huh? About the same flipping size. Anyway, I could do a few other things. Not that it's necessary. But, you know, it's like oh gosh, I'm just butterfingers. It's like is it configure? I think it's configure. Yeah, there we go. So I go into channel and I go to mute, and it's going to turn the channel off. Go into that one, and that one, and that one, that one. Everything except the LFE. And go into that one, and go into that one. So there's my LFE there. Clever, huh? And of course, it's just like putting pink noise out, but it's not just a case of putting pink noise out. Oh, it's mild. I'm using just turn the gain levels up a bit, and I'm using purposely I've set the crossover down onto Lynx Riley 24 dB down to 20 hertz. So it's just a very mild rumble, but does it vibrate the entire room and all that? Well, not entirely. And don't forget, an earthquake is a totally different beast, a totally different sort of energy compared to sub-bass speakers. You know, a sub-bass speaker, you know, even if it was the best, you know, it could be my JBLs, it could be something else, you know, just because someone's opinion says, you know, but it's not a case of your opinion. It's, you know, our sub-bass speakers, all the power generating it, yeah? You think about the power, the energy, the ampage, the wattage and all that. That is nothing compared to a real earthquake. The energy. And the way the... Alright, so how it was trial and error. And it would have been trial and error experiment, I would imagine, because there's hardly any film or video, and video recording existed way back into the 1970s, around the time Sensurround would have been. And you know, it's not like they were thinking that, gosh, this is going to be a pretty controversial film. Decades later, people are still going to be talking about it, you know. And it's only over recent years where you see where it played in cinemas, 70mm, Sensurround, six track Sensurround, and wow, and you know, some videos are made and showing the generated box generating the random pink noise sort of thing. You know, but a lot of videos that I've seen of those, I'm sure are edited. You know, they're not showing the whole lot, you know. But you're reading about, you know, reading about it and seeing some of the videos where they would have tried for months to sort of like, you know, because you're not using the original Sherwin Vegas. There are other subs that have come along since then, and other manufacturers, QSC, JBL, EAW, maybe Calypse. I'm not sure about Altec Lansing, but you name it, quite a lot. I know there's some other big names I've missed out there, and it's sort of like trying each of, you know, and experimenting. But you're only doing it with air pressure wave of probably maybe a sealed box, a ported box, sealed or ported, and clusters, literally clusters, probably more. I think I saw one cinema, I think it was Germany, it's a pretty famous one, Salzburg, Schneiderberg or something. It's a pretty famous little cinema in Germany, or, well, it may not be famous, but they show quite a bit of 70mm there, and Earthquake was one of them, and they used a ridiculous amount of JBL 18-inch sub-bass speakers. Crying out loud, ridiculous, more than what would have been used in the day. You know, I think they wanted to go I think they wanted to go to the point where, you know, the flipping the building would collapse under, you know, pressure waves travelling out, and then get into certain distances where it's a little bit bigger, the waveform and the sound pressure level, and, you know, until things start crumbling and falling off walls, and or chandeliers jingling, and until they finally fall off. Oh my goodness. Oh, flipping that. See, that's what a flipping, you know, if you was going to do that sort of shit, yeah, in your home, that's probably what's going to end up with your home. But the thing is, the actual you got a verse, the real thing, maybe a better thing. So if you live in an earthquake zone and you got your sub bass and all that, you just got to wait for the real thing to come along, and then play your sub bass speakers. But you got to have maybe the experiment, maybe have sub bass speakers the same amount for what you're going to have suspended off the ground. So you're going to have some on the ground, same cluster, and another lot that are hoisted up and suspended, and so that you could do various crazy tests, you know, sort of like when, I know, because an earthquake is happening underground, and it's often hundreds or many miles down sometimes, and you get the P wave going, pew, the primary wave, and then it's minutes later, then you get the rolling wave, the seismic wave, and it could be going this way, that way, this way. There's so many different waveformations that totally conflict the damage. And that's the whole purpose of an earthquake. Not that we're asking for one. That's just the way our planet is, you know, and has always been. Before we came along and started moaning about it. You know, what about the dinosaurs or all the other animals on the land, or even even in the ocean, because you get them in the ocean as well. What do you think? How do you think they feel? Never mind about us, because I know what we and human beings are, and our history and all that. You look at animal history; they don't have a barbaric history like we do. Okay? And I'm reasonably intelligent with a very high IQ to sort of know all that. And anyone with an ounce of common sense would know I'm speaking the truth. So, anyway. So, yeah. And when you see the subs in the room and an earthquake's going on, realistically, these subs should be... Well, actually, the flat below me at the moment is empty because the previous occupants moved out. They were louder than me. In fact, they were slamming doors all the time, making sex noises all the time. They wind up the lady on the ground floor. Oh, I wind her up sometimes, and she winds me up. You know, she plays her music loud, so, you know, that's just the way it is. If you live in a block of flats, you know, don't moan about it, all right? If you live in a block of flats, an apartment, don't moan about it, all right? Because no matter what we do, where we go, as human beings, we all make noise. The only ones that are quiet are the animals. I rest my case. Anyway, so I'm just experimenting, very mild at the moment. I could put extra crossover filters on. I could put more. I could put that to 48 dB. Plus, turn the gain level up. The gain level up maybe a little bit more, but maybe the amplifier level up a little bit more. I can even put an extra crossover on the Behringer NX 3000, or the iNuke for the TCB subs. I can put an extra, you know, filter to experiment, because really you should be, you know, but let's just say I can hear it there. It's okay. It's entertaining. It's entertaining me. It's not ear busting me at 120 flipping dB, where I'm gonna probably you know, think, well, that wasn't too bad, you know. And providing you get the frequency right with all the other screen channels to surround channels with the bass, that is, and then going through the screen channels to the surround channels and getting the mid to the high range just right, so it ain't gonna be like discomforting, you know. Because what's the point? Because when you turn up your TV, if you were to play a sort of dynamic or play a sound through your TV, my TV there, that OLED, ain't no way it's going to be able to play the rumble that's playing very low level at the moment. And I can talk over it. I can hear it. I can hear it's there. And it's probably only using a few watts or so on the amplifier. And I got quite a bit on tap. If I wanted, I could change the amplifiers out and get something a little bit more, you know. But I've got headroom. I've got something there that, you know. But eventually, using the crossover filter, the excursion level on the JBLs will give, just like anything. And if you had a sub-bass speakers that had a ridiculous amount of excursion from forward to backwards motion, that compared to compared to a real earthquake wouldn't be, you know, maybe because you're in your home and that, and yeah, you feel that, but you try that on a very wide radius. Yeah, because that is what an earthquake's doing. A pretty wide radius. And that's a lot of energy. Tremendous amount of energy. I'll let you lot think about it.